Hey, you're a human. You have a brain. And that 3-pound lump of electricity-powered meat inside your skull, it's convincing you right now that watching this is a fantastic idea. But why? Well, it's because you've got this glitchy, super biased, and honestly pretty chaotic operating system running in your head. And this is the explainer that's going to help you make sense of it all. So let's get right to it.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way first. Your brain? It's not your friend. Seriously, it's not some perfect, logical supercomputer working to make you happy. Nope. It's a chaos merchant. Think of it like an ancient piece of survival hardware that's way more interested in keeping you alive than in making you rational. It's running on old software for a world that just doesn't exist anymore.
So when we talk about psychology, just forget the dry academic definition for a second. For what we're doing here, think of it as the study of that flawed internal tech we all have. It's basically the user manual for that weird kind of trauma-informed meat computer that's making every single one of your choices. You know, the good, the bad, and the really questionable.
Okay, so to really get how this system works, we got to start with the physical stuff first. We need to pop the hood and take a look at the actual hardware that's running the show. So your brain isn't some magical box where your soul lives. It is this absurdly complicated Rube Goldberg machine. I mean, you've got something like 86 billion neurons, all firing these tiny electrical signals across these little gaps. And how do they make that jump? They use chemicals called neurotransmitters. The source material had the perfect name for these: brain lube. Yep, brain lube. All right, let's break down the two most famous kinds of brain lube. You've got dopamine. Now, a lot of people think this is the pleasure chemical. It's not. It's the chemical of anticipation. It's that, ooh, I need that new phone feeling. Then you have serotonin. That's the chemical of contentment. That's the, you know what, my current phone is totally fine feeling. And when this lube gets out of balance, the whole system just starts to grind.
And this system of ours has 3 key parts we really need to know about. First, you've got the amygdala, which is basically your internal panic button. Then there's the hippocampus, which is kind of like the memory filing cabinet. And then you've got the prefrontal cortex. This is supposed to be the adult in the room, right? The one making all the rational decisions. Except, let's be honest, it's usually asleep at the wheel.
So that's the hardware. Now let's move on to the software. Because if you think the hardware is weird, just you wait till you see the buggy code this thing is running. So here's the thing you have to understand. Deep, rational thinking, it takes a ton of energy. Your brain actually sees it as economically expensive. So to save on that cost, what does it do? It uses heuristics. These are just mental shortcuts to get you to an answer fast, even if it's not the right one. Your brain is literally programmed to be lazy.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat through a truly terrible movie? Or forced yourself to finish a bad book? Or even a meal you didn't like, just because you'd already paid for it or invested time in it? I bet we've all been there.
That feeling? That's a classic software bug. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. It's your brain irrationally screaming at you that because you've already spent resources, time, money, whatever, you have to see it through. Even when the most logical thing in the world is to just cut your losses and walk away. Okay, here's another one of our favorite little glitches. If you're given the choice on the screen, pretty much every human brain on the planet screams, "Give me the pizza now," right? But why is that? Well, it's because of another bug in the code called hyperbolic discounting. Your brain's software is just designed to value right now way more than the future. To your brain, the future is just this abstract idea that, well, it doesn't have pizza in it yet, so it'll almost always choose the immediate, smaller reward. This, by the way, is exactly why procrastination feels so good. Okay, so these internal bugs are one thing. But what happens when the whole system gets exposed to outside forces? What happens when it, catches a virus from the world around us? We humans are social animals, right? We evolved to survive in groups. So we have this really deep, powerful feature baked right into our code, conformity. Following the herd literally kept us safe. But in the modern world, this survival feature can act like a virus, making us super susceptible to things like groupthink and peer pressure. And if you want to see just how powerful that virus can be, you don't have to look any further than this number from the famous Milgram experiment. When a guy in a lab coat told them to, a staggering 65% of normal, everyday people were willing to give what they thought was a fatal electrical shock to another person. Our instinct to obey authority, it's a deeply programmed and, frankly, terrifying system vulnerability. So when these systems completely break down, what do we do? How do we, debug the machine? Well, there are two main ways to go about it, and they fit our computer metaphor perfectly. Therapy is basically about recoding the software. It's about finding those faulty thought patterns and literally rewriting them. Medication, on the other hand, is about adjusting the hardware's brain loop to get that chemical balance right.
All right, we've looked at the hardware, the software, and the bugs. Let's wrap all this up with the user manual, the key stuff you need to remember to manage the chaos merchant inside your own head. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the bottom line? It's this. You have to get that your own head is often trying to sabotage you, all for the sake of efficiency and old-school survival. It's a bizarre, cobbled-together machine running on software that's just full of faulty shortcuts, like that sunk cost fallacy. You're biologically wired to follow the crowd, and your personality? It's just this complex cocktail of your DNA and everything you've ever been through. That's the system you're working with, every single day.
And that leaves us with one final big question. You've now had a little peek at the user manual for your own mind. You know it's a glitchy, biased, and often totally irrational machine. So the question is, knowing all that, can you actually start to debug it?